in the NASMATI lab. I'm also a college algebra tutor, so information. I think I've only did 2 or 3 videos on general physical science because there's not a lot to cover. I'm taking Emberton's class on Tuesdays and Thursdays every week at 1 o'clock, which is the only class he has on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'll just go over some of the stuff that he went over with us, not since our last test, which would be, so the first chapter after the test would be chapter 5. Basically, some of the main things he said you needed to know. See if I can type them on the board. Was that chapter 5 was temperature, measure, it says temperature measures the average kinetic energy of the particles. So whenever you feel something is hot or whenever you feel something's cold, what you're actually feeling is the movement between the particles in the object. So if it's hot, then the movement of these particles speed up, and the friction in between the particles causes heat. If it's cold, they slow down, and this creates less friction, which means that it's going to be cold. Not cold, but colder. And as it cools off, you will eventually get to a point where most of the particles are either completely stopped or they're just moving so slowly that some things, like ice, are completely cool to touch. The temp scales, which is Fahrenheit, water freezes at 32 degrees, and water boils at 212 degrees. Celsius, water freezes at 0 degrees and boils at 100 degrees. And then Kelvin is water freezes at 273 degrees and water boils at 373 degrees. Metabolism, when living organisms process the energy from the food they eat into energy they can use. I would be showing you guys my actual notes, but I have awful handwriting, and it doesn't get better as I try to take notes. It gets worse. So I don't think you'd be able to read them either way. Something that you might need to know is 1 calorie equals 1.185 joules of energy. And the metabolic rate is how fast you are using the energy. So whenever you refer to metabolism, and people say, like, oh, well, you're skinny because you have a high metabolism, it's going to be, what they're referring to is how fast you burn the energy you're consuming. The 3 different types of matter are solids, which have a definite volume, liquids, which has a solids have a definite volume, and the particles vibrate in fixed positions, which means it keeps its shape. Like this remote is a solid, it isn't going to change shape all of a sudden. It also will have the same volume no matter what. Liquid has a definite volume, but the shape of its container changes. So like with water, if you pour water into a bowl or into a cup or onto a plate, the volume will stay the same, but the water itself will change to fit whatever container you're putting in it. And then gas has no definite volume or shape, which, you know, if you've been through a basic GPS science class in high school, things like oxygen around you has no shape. Liquids and gases both count as fluids because they flow. So even though gases are just like in the air around you, they still flow steadily from one place to another, whereas solids do not. One of the things you'll need to know, or I think you'll need to know on the test, I'm not for sure, is this, which is density equals mass divided by volume. That is something, I think he said that you'll have something to work out with that or something to that extent. If you are in Emberton's class for Tuesdays and Thursdays, our next test is coming up next Thursday. So I would advise you to attend for the test. You'll also need to know that pressure equals force divided by area. You'll need to know the gas laws, which are Boyle's gas law, which says a fixed volume of a gas at constant temperature is inversely proportional to the pressure applied. And then for those of us who don't know what inversely proportional means, it means as pressure increases, the volume decreases. Or as pressure decreases, the volume increases. So basically, if it's like opposite of one another, then you're following Boyle's gas law. Charles' gas law says the volume of a gas at constant pressure is directly proportional to its temperature. So it's saying that if you compress gas into a small space, like if I were able to compress all of the gas in this room into this one little part of my pencil, then the pressure of all those particles banging against each other would cause heat, which is correct. Chapter 6 is mainly, he talks about atoms, but he doesn't really get a lot into it because most of the stuff you go over, you're going to go over again in chapter 8. He talks about the conductor metals. He talks about the different qualities of metals, like conductors, which conducts or transmits electricity, insulators, which prohibit the flow of electricity, and semiconductors, which will conduct electricity, but only somewhat. When you get to chapter 7, he talks about the different kinds of waves, like mechanical waves, transverse waves, and longitudinal waves. All of this can be found, as far as I know, all of this can be found in the test or in the teacher notes that you are supposed to buy at the beginning of the year, which if you don't have those yet, the notes and the other thing, the book thing it comes with, well, I know the notes by themselves are like $20. And he doesn't really require you to have the book, but since the notes are like $20, it's like something you should go out and get. That's all the notes I have in my notebook for now. I didn't get to write down notes for today or yet. Our lab assignments 3 and 4 are due next Thursday, along with which is the same day as our test. If you haven't got the lab kit yet, you need to go out to the bookstore and get it. It's about $60 from what I've been told. So get it from the bookstore, and you have to have it to complete the labs. To complete lab 3, I'm not sure about 4 yet because I haven't looked at it. The video for lab 3 was sent out to your email. If you didn't receive the email, you need to go talk to Mr. Emberton about it, because that probably means that you're not on his email list, and that is a problem you should get fixed before the middle of the semester. So I suppose this is kind of the middle of the semester, so get it fixed as soon as possible. I don't have anything else for you today, but for the test Thursday, remember that you can use a note card, write down everything you can or you're having a hard time remembering, because that will help you a lot. And I think that is pretty much all I have for general physical science today. Well, thank you guys for watching this. If you have any feedback, just go ahead and email the NASNA Thai Lab. Or I think there's a specific email for it. Hold on. I do not know the specific email, but I am sure that someone, oh, here it is. successcenter@carlalbert.edu. That's what, if you would email any questions you have there, we can answer them. If you have any suggestions, we could also deal with those there. If you want to come by in person, then the NASNA Thai Lab is located on the 3rd floor of the OC building, and it is in room 1318. And the supervisors are located in the room directly to the left of that, if you need that information. But that's all I have for you today. Good luck on your test. Thank you.